Hey family, Lucian here. How are you guys doing this morning? How are you guys doing? How are you? So it is Thursday. Monday we made our projections, and some of them have been hit, some not as yet. However, by tomorrow we will know. We will know basically whether all of them actually hit the target. So let us know in the comments where you guys are tuning in from. Duncan is here. Duncan, thanks for tuning in. Bitcoin has once again set a new all-time high. And what that means is every single person who have ever bought Bitcoin are in profit. And that is why you see all of the news throughout the world. It's because Bitcoin has set a new all-time high. Now let's look at what does that mean. Okay, I'll just hit record on the camera as well, please. Hey? Okay, people are tuning in. Morning, everyone, says Philance. Take from the other camera. Basil, Jafta says good morning, leaders. Duncan says yes, good morning, everyone. Angela Hauda says good morning. Awesome stuff. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. So I'm quite excited for today's stream. One of the reasons is because one of our members shot me a message and they said, Lucian, thank you. And they actually expressed their gratitude for for the results that they actually got themselves. So I'm very excited about it. Everyone, like I said, Bitcoin has once again set a new all-time high. Bitcoin is at 93,000 US dollars. That is the all-time high that it has set. And what it means when a single asset reaches an all-time high, that means that every single person who bought that asset is in profit. So there's no one that should be in losses. However, why is it that liquidations are also actually eating such high levels? So I'm going to share with you the dangers of trading without actually learning. So what you see in front of you is in the last 24 hours, those who were trading Bitcoin, 244 million US dollars was liquidated. So it's important that people need to understand that there's a big difference between investing into an asset and trading an asset. So that is basically what we are looking at here in front of us. So more shorts were liquidated. So as you can see there, 136 million US dollars was liquidated in shorts. 108 million US dollars was liquidated in longs. So if you don't know what that means, it's just that they basically they lost on these trades. So whether they were going long, whether they're going short, so they basically misjudged the market and where it's going to go. But altogether, just Bitcoin alone, 244 million US dollars. Ethereum, 88 million US dollars. Pepe, 50 million US dollars. Now, why am I sharing this with you today? Am I sharing it because I actually want to scare you? Certainly not. But what we want to do is to have people actually understand, you know what, investing into an asset and trading an asset, it's a total different thing. So the one person that sent me the results, they actually shared with me the results of him actually having just bought cryptocurrencies and holding it for a certain duration of time. And yeah, as you can see, let me bring it up on the screen. He was able to buy Bitcoin and hold it, and that is how he was able to accumulate 38,000 US dollars. 38,000 US dollars. That is close to what? If you times it by 20, it's close to 800K. So how is it that some people, when Bitcoin reaches an all-time high, is able to actually get such results, and how is it that others who are actually trading, they are liquidating themselves, or they lose all of the cryptocurrencies that they have? So that is basically the dangers of trading. Not that trading is not a viable way, but one should actually know what you are doing. So when cryptocurrencies is setting an all-time high, so if cryptocurrencies are setting an all-time high, that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone is actually benefiting from the market. All that, but especially those who are obviously buying and holding, which takes a bit longer, which takes patience. Those people are actually the people that are necessarily in profit. But if you are a trader and you speculated that and it goes in the direction that you speculated, that means that yes, you are in profit, but you are in much more profit than those who are just buying and holding. But it comes down to you obviously speculating. But I don't want to make this call about trading. Let's look at the news. What's happening in the market today? So big topics are being discussed. So an important topic is inflation. Inflation basically affects each and every person on this planet, irrespective of whether you are actually working, whether you have a business, whether you actually do not have any income, because you still actually need to live. And whatever you are buying, it just becomes, especially if inflation goes up, that means whatever your cost of living is, it actually goes up. So let's make sense of what's actually happening here. So this person went on and said, please remember that the government has spent an average of $2 trillion more per year than it takes in for the last 8 years. So what that means is that whatever tax they have collected, they that wasn't enough. So every year they actually had to create 2 trillion US dollars more to be spending on wars, spending on basically all of their expenses, maintaining the country, etc., and all of those things. And Elon went ahead and said the excess government spending is what causes inflation. All government spending is taxation. So inflation, Elon tackles this topic of inflation because, I mean, like I said, it touches each and every person. But what the reason why many are in cryptocurrencies is because Bitcoin has, since its existence, it has always actually exceeded inflation. So people use crypto, or like such as Bitcoin, in order to hedge against inflation. So what it says is the excess government spending is what causes inflation. All government spending is taxation. That is a very important concept to appreciate. So it's important that one knows that, you know what, whatever expenses government has, it is actually taxation. So whether it's in the form of business tax, of employee tax, whether it is in the form of inflation, but it is actually a tax. It is either direct taxation, like income tax, like it says, or indirect via inflation due to increasing the money supply. Now, that is a topic that I want to actually get to. The topic that I want to get to is why Bitcoin. The reason why I say this is because some people think that this is basically the the all-time high is basically the mountaintop. Now, as we can see that these crypto, like for instance, Bitcoin, it has set a new all-time high. It was never higher than what it is now. So it is easy for one to actually think that it is the mountaintop. However, what we are seeing, what's actually happening now is that most countries are now putting up their hand and they actually want to put crypto on their balance sheet. So, which means they uh, actually want a bigger piece. We already established that, or we already found out what the plans for the US is. They want to own 5% of Bitcoin. So now countries throughout the world, they want a piece of cryptocurrency. So um, can one actually say that, you know what, now is basically a bad time for one to be getting into it? Certainly not. Yes, a better time was 10 years ago, but the next best time is actually today. That is what I believe, in my opinion. So remember, I'm not sharing financial advice. I'm sharing what we are doing and how we actually take the news in order to make to be able to understand what actions we actually need to take. And I'm sharing on this channel my methodologies and my perspective of what this news means. Does it mean that Bitcoin is it's too late to actually get in? Um, I mean, small countries like El Salvador, they are the ones who already started to actually uh, put it out and start buying Bitcoin on a monthly basis. And now, in fact, El Salvador, I believe that they are buying Bitcoin on a daily basis. And now we see that many other countries are actually coming on board. So first they recognized it as currency, and now they're buying it in order to put it on in their reserves. So yes, Bitcoin has set an all-time high. However, if you go on CoinGecko, you would find that many of these altcoins, in fact, most of these altcoins has not set any all-time highs as of recent. Why? Because Bitcoin sucked out all of the liquidity, and which means it sucked it out of altcoins, and many of these altcoins are still yet to actually set all-time highs. And that is basically where the opportunity actually comes in, and that is why you would find that the retail would rather prefer buying altcoins, which is much cheaper or has a bigger upside potential, in their opinion, than Bitcoin itself. Because I mean, Bitcoin is already almost at 2 million and almost at 100,000 US dollars. And I believe that, you know what, based on the growth that we see this week, what we saw this week, I would definitely say that Bitcoin is going to hit 100,000 US dollars by this weekend. So, is it going to hit it? I firmly believe that, especially if it keeps up the trend that it has been keeping up with during the course of this week. We started this week at, I believe, we started it at around about 81,000. If it, if not 75, around about there. However, in fact, let's see exactly. So Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So we started Monday. We were around about at 80,000 US dollars, and I made the projection that we are going to get to 86,000 by Friday. We obviously went right through that, and this is where we are at this point of time. So um, I believe that 103 is in sight. We may even see it by this weekend. So I know it's being optimistic, but yeah, if you don't think positively, why think? So let us know in the chats. Let us know in the chats what is your projection for the rest of um, the rest of this week. So we made projections, and yeah, so obviously altcoins have been doing great, but Bitcoin has definitely outperformed it, and yeah, they are obviously in the race to be able to provide the solutions that cryptocurrency was supposed to bring in the first place, which is to obviously be decentralized. So these altcoins are all in the race, so it's important to actually know how to research them and then decide which ones you actually want to go to. Or some of us actually lean more towards Bitcoin because we know that it is the most secure and the most stable cryptocurrency, other than the stable coins, of course. So let me see in the chat. Let me see in the chat. Duncan says this is the next 10 years ago. So definitely. So 10 years from now, you would have wanted to actually be making moves today. So I know that end of the year is not the easiest time to actually be expanding your portfolio. But like I said, this channel is for education and entertainment purposes, but it shouldn't be regarded as financial advice. However, um, in my opinion, I've realized that the best opportunities actually present themselves when it is not favorable to do so. However, that is one of the reasons why you would actually find that the majority don't get the results that they wanted. However, it's only a small percentage. It's because of how they interpret news and how they actually look at things. Now, you may ask a question: how is it that this individual were able to get these results? How is it? I can still remember whilst they were providing their services, and I constantly needed. They basically fix cell phones and those kind of things. So I would constantly go there either to fix or buy a new uh, uh, um, uh, screen or protector, etc. So small amounts this person contributed towards their portfolio. So this 800K that they showed me yesterday is a result of small uh, contributions constantly over a matter of a few years. So in fact, they actually grow their portfolio to way over 2 million rand. But this is the testimony that they've shared with me. But it's important that people actually need to understand that, you know what, coming to cryptocurrency is not a method to get rich quick or to gamble or trade when you don't know what you are doing. Yes, we are doing trading, but the majority that you can see throughout the world, they actually do not know what they're actually doing. As a result, we saw that over 200 billion actually being, is it billion or million, 250 million liquidated Bitcoin alone. And yeah, as you can see, many others. So it could have been up to a billion because ETH already 8 million, 50 million, and that is basically in a day. So yeah, people are taking too much risk, and what has worked out for most people, in fact, what has worked out for most people is to buy and hold. Yeah, obviously, like I said, yes, there is opportunity when it comes to trading, but yeah, it obviously increases the risk exponentially. So yes, it may take a bit longer for adoption to take place when it comes to cryptos, but I mean, nations are coming in at this point of time, and you want to ask yourself, do you want each and every country to be in before you? I believe that there is like 193 countries. So yeah, it's a good time to actually get in when not even five of them are already accumulating. In my opinion, I believe it's China, America, El Salvador, Russia. Yeah, most other nations have not basically made it public. Maybe they're doing it in private. I don't know. But yeah, I believe that, like Duncan has said, this is the next 10 years ago. So yeah, I'm fairly content with actually, even if I were to come across cryptocurrencies today only, I would still know that, you know what, it's not too late, because there's like 8 billion people on the earth, and not even 500 million is actually exposed to crypto as yet. But let us know in the comments, in your opinion, what do you lean towards, Bitcoin or altcoins? Family, thank you so much for tuning in. See you on our next.